So now we've received the tailgate latch assembly for this Mercedes ML320. It was causing, in my opinion, a parasitic draw. One of the micro switches in it, I think, is defective, or the latch mechanism not holding. So we're going to go ahead and put it in. That involves removing some plastic trim up here. I believe this piece of plastic pops off, and then the other plastic panel pops off, and then we'll be able to get inside there. Now I noticed there's a, looks like an access cap missing here, and I haven't taken this apart yet, so I'm sure that was supposed to be a cap on there, but we'll take some plastic off. Use a plastic release tool to release the clips at the top first. Don't try and pry it out at the bottom. So this is installed like so you got to pry it out from the top, and it's highly recommended to do this when it's warm. I left this thing inside the shop, so I'm sure if I tried to do this cold, that plastic would have broke. So once that piece is off, then I imagine there's push pins that hold this plastic cover on as well. So you have to carefully pry off these release clips. There's all these push pins, and they managed to all come off, believe it or not. Like I said, best to do this with the vehicle warm. If you try to do this with cold plastic, it'll break. So now we got access to this latch. Here it is here. Some Torx bits, screws that we need, and a, what's that, riveted in there? Why did they rivet that in there? Is that going to be a problem? Looks like it's going to be a problem. So that's an emergency release. That's what that is. Through that hole in that access door. That's interesting. Nice to know. But they riveted this piece on here. Well, we might have to drill out some rivets. So there's the new part removed, or the old part removed. This cable just unclips from the release handle, and there's an electrical plug on the back of it that you can unplug afterwards right here. I'm just comparing the replacement part to the original part. They look the same, so we're going to reverse the procedure to reinstall it. So we're re-riveting this back in place with some 3/16 rivets. I had to drill them out, so I'm using this riveting tool. That's it. Pull the rivet pin back out. We've already done the other one. So now we're going to just make sure this latch actually works before we put all the trim covers back on. It's all hooked up. That's that emergency release. The latch is open, so we're going to close the lift gate. Make sure there's nothing obstructing its travel here, and make sure it works fine. So let's give this a try. This doesn't have the electric opening and closing, it's just the electric latch. All that mechanism just so you don't have to slam the trunk. Just do this. Seems to be working just fine. Is it closing? Yeah. Well, next we got to see if the parasitic draw is gone. So I'm going to put the ammeter on that disconnect switch. Have a look at that. So I got the ammeter connected across this disconnect switch. The disconnect switch is now open, and the current is now dropped to 433 milliamps. And it's approximately 7:05. So we got to wait several minutes to see if this thing will go to sleep. Should have turned off my trouble light back there. Got the tailgate closed. I got the passenger rear door open, but I've got the latch tripped here, so it fools the system into thinking that the door is actually closed. Could take up to 30 minutes for this thing to go to sleep, so I'm not going to record 30 minutes. So after about 4.5 minutes, it's gone from 450 milliamps down to 104 milliamps. Again, we might have to wait up to 30 minutes for everything to time out and go to sleep here. Well, I have to admit I was starting to get worried. 28 minutes and we dropped back down to 12 milliamps. So that latch appeared to have fixed it. Now we get to put it back together again now. I'm going to turn the disconnect switch back on because when I open up the door, if I open the door handle, it's going to restart the timer. And it'll take another 27 minutes for it to go to sleep. So as a final follow-up, we're going to do a network code clear to make sure all of the controllers don't have any code stored in them before we return this back to the customer. This will take several seconds to go through. That's all, just 4 controllers? Let's do a code scan again and see if it picks up more than 4 controllers. Well, there's definitely more than 4 controllers. It appears that the network code clear function on the Snap-on scanner doesn't talk to all the controllers properly, because I'm doing a code scan and we've analyzed 17 controllers and we're about 50% of the way through, and some of them still have codes in them, believe it or not. Low voltage at signal acquisition module. And this is interesting. The line from component N10-8 rear signal acquisition and actuation module SAM to component A72 rear door locking unit has an open circuit. That would be me unplugging it when I was changing the latch. That's interesting. Pin 1-10, pin 1-4, pin 1-3 has an open circuit. Didn't have any of those codes though before. So we'll have to go into these modules individually and clear those codes. Wait for it to finish this network code read. 20 modules at about 60% of the way through. We'll pick up when we get there. So it analyzed 26 controllers and some of them still have codes in them. So we're going to click on this module and clear codes. Probably going to ask me to cycle the key on and off. Clear codes, and must be on engine or off. Clearing codes. Continue. And we'll check it again. Back. Back. Continue. Oh yes, it's going to ask me to switch key off. So I'm going to go into individual modules and clear the codes. So that was getting painful. So I decided to try this Maxisys scan tool to see if it does a better job of a network code clear. Automatic selection, read the ID. Okay. It is a left-hand drive. It is a 164.125 diagnosis. So we'll do a network scan with this scan tool, and then we'll try a network code clear. See how this works. I put a battery maintainer on it so the battery doesn't go flat because I've got the key on. Auto scan. Now the Snap-on scanner found 26 controllers. Let's see what this thing finds. It's fairly quick. About the same speed as the Snap-on scanner. Now the one thing I do like about the Autel scanner is it shows you the status up here at the top of the screen here. You can see how far along you are, and when you scroll up in the list or down in the list, once it gets past a full page, you don't lose that status bar like you do on the Snap-on scanner. But no single scanner is flawless. And it also shows you the percentage, 21%, 10 modules. So we'll pick up when we get to the end of this network scan. So we got to the end of the list. Let's see how many modules it's found. 28. I think the Snap-on scan tool was 26. So we'll try a quick erase now, and this will start at this module here. Unchecked fault codes will not be deleted. Now it exists in control. You have overhead control panel, SAM front, driver's door control module left. Wonder why it says it won't. Maybe because you have to cycle the key between clearing codes from different modules. It says it's erasing. Usually this tool will erase and then rescan. Certainly appeared to give it a honest try, but it didn't. Oh, it's erasing the automatic air conditioning codes then, and it wasn't able to do that. And erasing the satellite radio codes. So it looks like it only left with one code in the automatic air conditioning system. Let's see what that is. The fault memory of the control module is being updated. Self-test is being performed. Press the back button to skip the self-test. That was interesting. I've never seen that before. Now it says no fault codes detected. Maybe that one just took longer. Survey says good to go. Well, Autel for the win this time. That's it on this vehicle. I'm going to start it cold, see how the glow plugs work tomorrow morning, and hopefully it's going to be a wrap. Thanks for watching.